Hello, my dear students. Welcome to the class of production technology. And we had started the chapter of casting. And in the last classes, we had discussed some of the important principles and aspects related to casting. And we had discussed sand casting in greater detail as well as shell molding. So I hope that you all people are revising the previous videos and you are keeping in touch with the numerical part as well. So today in this class, see what all we had discussed in the theory part is types of casting processes. There are two classes of casting processes. We had already discussed them in the class. One is expendable mold, that is the mold can be used only once because it is usually damaged or the properties of the mold are lost by the heat of the molten metal which was used for casting of the metal. And second is permanent mold, whereby the mold can be used again and again until the properties of the mold are lost. So basically the mold is used to produce more than one casting, that is known as permanent mold, and that permanent mold can be made up of either metal or an alloy, which is usually known as die. And then we had seen all the advantages and limitations of the sand casting. Then we had discussed important sands used in the casting process and important machines which are responsible. So hope you people are in touch and revising these concepts because this can be vital for your examinations. Now shell molding process also we had discussed, and today we will be discussing one new type of casting process which is again an expendable pattern or expendable casting process whereby the mold is used only once. Now we will be discussing this aspect in greater detail by the help of a diagram. So starting this process, please listen very carefully at it, as the points here can be very important for CSE objective as well as for GATE objective in 1 marks, right? So please hear it very carefully, and this can be a subjective question of 10 to 15 marks also in your ESE conventional examination, that is the subjective paper, right? So first of all, we have seen in shell molding also that our first step is to produce a slurry, right? So slurry formation is there. So here also a slurry will be produced, and that slurry will be produced in a tank, right? This is a tank, and here the slurry will be produced. Now what is a slurry? Now slurry is a kind of paste, right? Slurry is a kind of sticky paste which is used for coating the pattern, right? As we had discussed in shell molding also, it was usually used for the coating of pattern, coating on the pattern. So here also slurry coating is used, and the slurry produced over here contains of several chemicals, right? And the usually used liquid binder in this case is ethyl silicate. We usually use ethyl silicate over here. Don't worry about all this. I have already mentioned this in the theory part, so need not worry about all these concepts. Just try and listen it very carefully. So ethyl silicate is an important liquid binder which is used to produce this slurry, and this slurry contains a basic 60 to 80% of important resin binder also. Important resin binder apart from this liquid binder, right? And we'll be seeing this composition. Now, first of all, a die of aluminium is used. Why a die of aluminium is used? Because here the pattern is to be given a shape in this die. Now the pattern material which is usually used is wax in this process. Now this is very important aspect of the investment casting process, that wax is an important material which is used to produce the pattern, right? Now, is the wax used directly? This can be a potential question for your interview as well, that is the wax used in the pure form? We'll say no. Why? Because to give the desired properties to the pattern, we have to use a binding property of wax along with some resins as well as some important binders can be used, so that the wax pattern is not a pure wax, so that better properties can be imparted to the pattern. Now the wax in the molten form is injected into this die, which the die was created of aluminium. Now you would ask a question to me, sir, why is the die made up of aluminium? See, the melting point of aluminium we already know is 620 to 625 degrees Celsius. Now which is usually lesser as compared to different more high melting point materials. Now you would have usually heard that the material of die is usually made up of tool steel or alloy steel, which are usually high melting points. Now in this case metal used is aluminium to produce the die, which has relatively lower melting point compared to tool steel or alloy steel. Why is this? Because wax or even the mixture of wax along with different resins has a very lesser melting point, and as the melted wax is poured in this part, the heat released is very less to solidify the wax, and as the heat released is less, this can be easily taken up by the aluminium, right? So why to use a more costly and more important tool steel or alloy steel die when aluminium can serve the purpose over here? Now we'll inject this wax and make up a wax assembly. Now this wax assembly is similar to the gated pattern we had already discussed in the types of pattern topic, gated pattern, and this gated pattern is also known as tree pattern, as I had already told you, and this question was already asked in ISRO. So gated pattern, which is also known as tree pattern, can be used for mass production. We had already discussed this. It can be used for mass production as well. Now many patterns can be used, can be attached to a single sprue stock. Now this stock is a vertical part, and sprue is a part in the gating system whereby the molten metal is poured into the different pattern assembly or the different gating elements. Now this sprue is a vertical chamber whereby different wax patterns are attached, which thereby will produce a cavity. Afterwards we'll see. Now this pattern is dipped again and again in the slurry coating. Now what happens? See over here, 6 to 7 cycles are repeated. Now what this wax pattern has done, it is dipped into the slurry, and a ceramic spray is moved over here. You can see in this process, this is ceramic spray powder which we are spraying, and it is then dried, then again dipped, then again dried. See, repeat this step 4 to 5 times. So what we are doing, we are dipping this wax pattern again and again into this slurry, which contains of different resins and chemicals which can easily bind upon the wax to produce a desired coating, and then a ceramic spray is delivered, ceramic spray. Now you would be thinking, sir, why ceramic is usually used or mainly used over here? See, ceramic has a refractoriness of 35 degrees Celsius. We have already discussed in our last class. 3500 degrees Celsius means that a coating, if of ceramic is used, then it will be able to withstand a temperature of 3500 degrees Celsius, right? Now this step is repeatedly used to produce a desired shell thickness so that it can bear the heat and the high energy of molten metal and does not fail upon the pouring of molten metal into the pattern assembly. Now what we'll do, we'll be dewaxing it. How? You can put this in autoclave oven. You can put this in autoclave oven. Now what is autoclave oven? It is basically a type of oven whereby heat is given in the form of steam, right? A high pressure steam is given into the oven. Usually the steam pressure is 8 kg per centimeter square. This pressure of steam is given and the wax is melted. Now what will happen? The wax which is melted can come out even from the intricate and complex portions of the assembly. So what will happen? This will produce a cavity which is very intricate and complex in size, and hence it will be very easy for you that when you pour the molten metal will also go into the deep intricacies and the complexities of which the pattern had produced. So the very important and advantageous point of this process is that you can produce high complex castings. And one more point to be remembered is that as we have used a ceramic coating which can withstand the temperatures of 3500 degrees Celsius, so even very high melting point metals can be easily cast by this process. Now, as we have discussed in our previous videos and previous lectures also, as and when you pour the entire molten metal upon this, you can easily use a heat over here, a heating part over here, so that this shell can be easily removed, because shell will be broken down by the help of heat used. So the shell can be easily broken up. Now when the shell is easily broken up, you will get a highly intricate casting. Now what you have to do, a fettling process is being used. I had already told you about fettling process. Now fettling is a process, sorry, there's a spelling, wait, let me just use an eraser over here. So this is basically fettling process, right? Fettling process. Now we have already discussed in our previous class that what is fettling. Fettling is basically a cleaning up of casting. Now you have to remove the gating elements from here, and only the pattern, only the important casting or pattern part is removed. Now it is casting, so casting is being removed, and the rest gating system is again thrown back in the furnace to produce the material of the metal used, so that it can be recycled again and again, right? And this finishing process is carried out by the help of grinding wheel or whatever process which is usually suitable for you. You can do it, and then the material is finally inspected by our inspection team, so that any defect, if it is there, it can be rectified, right? Or else if the defects are on a very high level, the material, the casting can be rejected, and hence another casting can be produced. See, 2-3 points are very important regarding this casting. Otherwise, most of the points are related to previous classes as well. One is very highly complex castings can be produced as the wax, that is the pattern material here, is melted. It is not physically removed. As the wax pattern is not physically removed, it is melted. So very intricate and complex castings can be produced, because the welted wax can come out from very intricacies and the complexities of the pattern or the pattern structure, entire pattern structure, which was in the form of gated pattern. The second most important point is that as we are using the ceramic slurry, which has the ability to resist more heat and temperature, that is 3500 degrees Celsius. So even very high melting point metals can be easily casted. As we know, the tungsten has the highest melting point among metals, which has almost 3300 degrees Celsius melting point. So even tungsten can be easily cast by this process, right? And one more important thing is that in this process, autoclave oven is used. Why autoclave oven? To melt the wax. So this is important. And while pouring of the molten metal, vacuum is maintained. Why is vacuum maintained? It can be a potential question, because if vacuum is maintained, there will be lesser chances of gas defects introduced in this casting process, right? So let's see what all points are important. We have already mentioned in this theory part. See, wax is used as a pattern material, one of the very most important point. Molten wax is used in the split dies, which are made up of aluminium. See, the split dies are made up of aluminium. So blended wax is used. I told you that pure wax is not used in this process. It is used along with the mixture of plastics, resins, fillers, antioxidants, dyes, so that the properties of the wax can be improved upon. Now, wax blends are in this form, 30 to 70% of wax. You can read this as this is theoretical part. We have explained this already. Now, similar patterns, several similar patterns means mass production can be done in a common gating system, which is usually a gated pattern or a tree pattern. We have discussed this. Now see, very important, there is a stuccoing. What is stuccoing process? See, when the pattern is dipped again and again, repeatedly several times to obtain a desired thickness of the shell, and that too, the shell is made up of ceramic. Why? Because the ceramic powder is being sprayed upon, right? So this process is known as stuccoing process, and the coating is known as stucco coating. So this can also be an important question, as it has already been asked in ESE and CSE examinations objective part, right? Now composition of the slurry is given over here. Refractory floor means like atta is there, right? So we'll mixing it up. It is a refractory. Refractory means high temperature and heat withstanding ability. Zirconium, see, zirconium has a property of high refractoriness. It is very important. Zirconium is used basically in furnace related applications as well. Now same case with silica also. Silica is also used in furnace related applications, right? Then liquid binder in the form of ethyl silicate. Now this is very important. Ethyl silicate is used in the form of liquid binder, and a solid binder has also 5 to 10% of use. Now now see, one of the very important point regarding your stucco coating is that your slurry contains 2 to 3 repeated dips is with the fine texture of the slurry, so that every complex details can be easily covered upon by the help of coating. And then to obtain a good permeability, as we know, as we have discussed in our previous class in the properties of molding sand, that coarse grains have better permeability to offer, right? So coarse grains slurry is used for another 2 to 3 dips of the pattern. Autoclave oven is used, as we have already told, and high steam is used to easily remove out the wax so that the complex castings can be obtained. And as the pattern is not physically removed, instead it is melted, so the process here is known as expendable pattern. Expendable word means used only once. It means the pattern can be used only once. It cannot be used for another casting process, as the pattern, wax pattern, is melted. It has to be again formed in the die, right? And it is also known as lost foam. Sorry, this is wrong. This is not called lost foam process. Lost foam process is not its name. We'll be rectifying it in our PDF, in our PPT as well. Don't worry. Lost foam is not this process. It will be next process. So it is known as expendable pattern process, right? Now, see, as we obtained a ceramic shell which has high refractiveness, hence it can be used to cast any metal, because we know the melting points of metal, even being higher, can be easily casted in the ceramic shell. And now molten metal is poured in vacuum conditions so as to refrain from any chances of gas defects, and finally the shell is broken off by help of a motored chisel if done by the help of machine or a sand blaster, right? And it can be even done manually. Fettling, extragating elements are removed by the help of grinding wheel, and extremely high dimensional accuracy. See, unlike sand casting, whereby sand was on the outer layer, which was not having very good dimensional accuracy nor very high surface finish, the surface finish and dimensional accuracy obtained in this process is very, very high. And if we talk about the tolerance level, so the tolerance level are very close. Close means what the size, the dimensions which you wanted, the dimensions obtained, they both are practically very close to each other. So the tolerances are very closer. Closer means the dimensions which you desired and the dimensions which you practically obtained are very near to each other. Means the chances of error are very, very less, right? Unlike sand casting, where the dimensional accuracy and the tolerances are very far apart, right? Now, thin sections, even thin sections with high strength to weight ratio can be used. We'll be seeing the applications in gas turbine blades, steam turbine blades, sieving machines, which are very complex sieving machines, sieving machines, and then jewelry, these are very complex applications. And then dentures are there. Dentures means dentical instruments as well as surgical instruments, dentures. These all are the applications of investment casting. Now, one of the very important limitations, or you can say disadvantage of this process, is that it's very time consuming. Means you have to process the wax pattern, which takes time, and it is an expensive process as well. Means the pattern cannot be used again and again. So hope you have understood this process, and I have already mentioned here the applications, the material used and the applications, right? Some of the very important applications, as we have already discussed, is your aerospace components, automotive, jewelries are there, dentures are there, steam and gas turbine engines are there, F1 car suspension part is there. Now this is also very important. So I have mentioned all the materials and related aspects, so you can study this and keep revising, and so better come in the next class revising all the previous concepts, and try hard with your numerical portion and keep remembering these examples as well, as it can be very critical for objective examinations, right? So till then, goodbye, take care, God bless you all.